The first time Luna Hart realized she wasn't normal, the sky screamed. It was midnight, and the world outside her window had turned unnaturally still. No wind, no crickets, no sound at all. Even the air felt frozen, like something was holding its breath. Luna sat up in her bed, her heart racing for no reason she could explain. Then her hands began to glow. Soft, golden, beautiful, terrifying. She stared at them, panic rising in her chest. The light wasn't hurting her, but it wasn't stopping either. It pulsed beneath her skin, like her veins had been replaced with liquid sunlight. "What is happening to me?" she whispered. The moment the words left her lips, the temperature in the room dropped sharply. Her window creaked open. The curtains fluttered inward slowly, even though there was no wind. And then he appeared, not climbing, not stepping, appearing. One moment the space near her window was empty. The next he was standing there, tall, still, silent. His presence swallowed the light around him. He wore black from head to toe, his long coat blending into the shadows like it belonged to them. His hair was dark as midnight, and his eyes weren't human. They were empty, cold, bottomless. Luna's breath caught in her throat. She couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't even scream, because deep in her soul, she knew one thing with terrifying certainty. He wasn't human. He tilted his head slightly, observing her like she was something fragile, something unfamiliar, or something he was about to destroy. "Luna Hart," he said. Her name sounded wrong in his voice. Too heavy, too final. Hearing it sent a wave of fear through her entire body. "How do you know my name?" she whispered. He didn't answer. Instead, he stepped closer, and the closer he came, the more her golden light reacted. It grew brighter, stronger, like it was alive, like it recognized him. His expression didn't change, but his eyes narrowed slightly. "Interesting." He raised his hand slowly. Luna's entire body tensed. Every instinct screamed at her to run, but she couldn't. She was frozen beneath his gaze. His hand reached toward her face. Closer, closer, closer. The moment his fingers touched her skin, everything stopped. His darkness didn't consume her. Her light didn't burn him. Instead, they reacted. Her golden light surged violently, pouring into him like a flood. Kael froze. For the first time since his creation, he felt something. Warmth. It spread from his fingertips up his arm, into his chest, filling the empty void where nothing had ever existed. His hand trembled slightly. His eyes widened. Impossible. He had touched countless light wielders before. Every single one of them had burned. Every single one of them had died. But she didn't burn him. She didn't break. She made him feel. Luna gasped as visions flooded her mind. Darkness. Endless darkness. Loneliness deeper than death itself. She saw him standing alone for centuries, watching the world without being part of it. She felt his emptiness, his silence, his curse. Tears filled her eyes. His hand pulled away suddenly, as if the contact itself had frightened him. They stared at each other in silence, neither of them understanding what had just happened. "Who are you?" Luna whispered. He hesitated, just for a moment. Then he answered, "My name is Kael." The room fell silent again. Luna swallowed nervously. "Why are you here?" This time, his answer came immediately. "To kill you." Her heart stopped. The words hit her like ice through her veins. But strangely, he didn't move. He didn't attack. He just stood there, staring at her, confused, almost conflicted. His hand slowly clenched into a fist. This wasn't how it was supposed to happen. He was created for one purpose: destroy the light, destroy her. But when he looked at Luna, he couldn't move, because something inside him had changed. Something he didn't understand. Something dangerous. Luna should have been terrified. She should have screamed. She should have run. But instead, she asked softly, "Then why haven't you?" The question lingered between them. Heavy, unavoidable. Kael didn't answer, because he didn't know. And that terrified him more than anything else. Outside, the sky rumbled, like the universe itself was warning them. This was never supposed to happen. Darkness and light were never meant to touch, never meant to feel, never meant to hesitate. But Kael had hesitated, and that single moment of hesitation would change everything, because far beyond their world, something ancient had felt it, and it was not pleased. Kael vanished. One moment he was standing in front of her, the next he was gone. No sound, no movement, no trace. Only silence remained. Luna sat frozen on her bed, her heart pounding so hard it hurt. Her glowing hands had dimmed, but they hadn't gone completely dark. Her skin still held that faint golden shimmer. Proof that what she had just seen was real. Proof that he was real. To kill you. His words echoed in her mind again and again. He had said it so calmly, so coldly, but he hadn't done it. Why? She wrapped her arms around herself, trying to stop the trembling in her body. She should tell someone. Her parents. The authorities. Anyone. But deep down, she knew they wouldn't understand. Because how do you explain a man made of darkness? How do you explain the way his touch didn't hurt, but felt strangely safe? She pressed her hand against her chest, feeling her heartbeat. It was different now, stronger, awake. Outside her window, the night remained unnaturally still, like it was waiting, watching, and somewhere within that darkness, he was watching too. Kael stood on the rooftop across from her house, his eyes locked on her window. He could see her silhouette through the thin curtain. He shouldn't still be here. He should have finished his mission. He should have destroyed her the moment he found her. That was his purpose. That was the only reason he existed. And yet, he hadn't. His hand tightened into a fist. He could still feel it. Her warmth. It lingered in his skin like a mark he couldn't erase. It was wrong. He was wrong. Darkness was never meant to feel warmth, never meant to hesitate. But when he had touched her, the emptiness inside him had disappeared. Just for a moment. And that moment had broken something inside him. Or maybe it had created something. He didn't understand it. And that made him dangerous. Far away, beyond the human world, something ancient stirred. It had felt the hesitation. It had felt the connection. And it was furious. A deep, distorted voice echoed through the void. Kael! He froze instantly. The voice didn't come from the air. It came from inside his mind. You failed. His body stiffened. I will correct the error, Kael replied coldly. There was a long silence. Then, do you feel it? The voice asked. Kael didn't answer, because the truth was, he did. You were not created to feel, the voice continued. I know. You were not created to hesitate. His jaw tightened. I know. Another silence. He could feel its anger growing, its disappointment, its suspicion. If you cannot complete your purpose, you will be erased. The connection vanished instantly, leaving Kael alone in the darkness. Erase him, destroy him, replace him. The thought should not have mattered. He was created to serve. Nothing more, nothing less. And yet, for the first time in his existence, he didn't want to disappear, because if he disappeared, he would never feel her warmth again. He would never see her again. His eyes slowly lifted back to her window. She was standing there now, looking directly at him. She couldn't see him clearly, but somehow she knew he was there. Their eyes met across the distance. Her golden light flickered faintly beneath her skin. She wasn't afraid. She should have been, but she wasn't, and that made it worse, because fear would have made this easier. Fear would have reminded him what he was, a weapon, a destroyer, a shadow, but she looked at him like he was something else, something human. He stepped back into the shadows, disappearing from sight, but he didn't leave. He couldn't. The next morning, Luna tried to convince herself it had all been a dream. She got ready for school. She ate breakfast. She smiled at her parents. She pretended everything was normal, but nothing felt normal anymore, because every shadow she passed, every dark reflection she saw, she wondered if he was there, watching, waiting, and strangely, the thought didn't scare her. It comforted her. She didn't understand why. That night, she sat on her bed again, waiting. She didn't know what she was waiting for, but she knew he would come, and he did. The shadows near her window shifted. and Kael stepped out of them, silent as death. Her heart raced, but she didn't look away. He stood there, staring at her, studying her, conflicted. "You came back," she whispered. He didn't answer, because he hadn't meant to. His mission was clear: end her, erase the light, restore balance. But his body refused to obey. "Are you here to kill me?" she asked softly. Silence filled the room. Seconds passed. Then he said something unexpected. "I don't know." Her breath caught. Neither of them moved. Neither of them understood what was happening. But one truth was becoming clear. He was changing, and somewhere far beyond their world, something had noticed, and it was already sending something else, something worse, something that would not hesitate. The warning came without sound, without light, without mercy. Kael felt it before it arrived, a presence older than fear itself, stronger, colder, more obedient. He stood in Luna's room, his body completely still, his eyes fixed on the darkness near her window. Luna noticed it immediately. His expression had changed. For the first time since she met him, he looked afraid, not of her, of something else. "What is it?" she whispered. He didn't answer, because he didn't have time. The shadows in the corner of her room began to twist unnaturally, stretching along the walls like living veins. The temperature dropped violently. Luna gasped, wrapping her arms around herself as her golden light flickered weakly beneath her skin. And then it stepped out. Another shadow, but this one was different. Taller, thinner. Its body looked almost broken, like it had been stitched together from pure darkness. Its eyes glowed faintly silver. Empty, emotionless, obedient. It wasn't human. It wasn't alive. It was a weapon, just like Kael. But unlike Kael, this one had no hesitation. Its silver eyes locked onto Luna instantly. Target acquired. Luna's breath caught in her throat. Her instincts screamed at her to run, but her body refused to move, because the moment that thing looked at her, she felt death. Pure, certain, final. Kael stepped in front of her instantly, protecting her. The movement surprised both of them. The creature tilted its head slightly, observing him. Confused. "Designation, Kael," it spoke. Its voice wasn't a voice. It was a sound. Cold, mechanical. "You have failed your purpose." Kael didn't respond. He didn't move. He just stood there. Between it and Luna. "You will step aside," it continued. Kael's fist clenched. "No." The word came out before he'd stop it, before he could understand it. Behind him, Luna's eyes widened. He was protecting her. He was choosing her. The creature's silver eyes flickered. "Processing. Analyzing. Correction unit activated," it said. Its body began to shift. Darkness gathered around its hands, forming sharp, blade-like extensions. Its purpose was simple. If Kael would not destroy the light, it would destroy both of them. It moved instantly. Too fast. Too precise. Luna screamed as the creature lunged forward, but Kael was faster. He grabbed it mid-motion, his hand colliding with its arm in an explosion of dark energy. The force shattered the window behind them. Glass exploded outward. Wind roared into the room. The two shadow beings stood locked together, darkness clashing against darkness. Luna watched in horror. She could feel it. Kael was strong, but this creature was stronger. It had no emotions, no hesitation, no weakness. It didn't care about pain. It didn't care about existence. It only cared about completing its mission. The creature's blade pierced into Kael's shoulder. Dark energy tore through his body. Kael didn't scream, but his body trembled. He could feel himself weakening, being erased, piece by piece. Luna's heart shattered. "No!" she cried. Without thinking, she ran toward him. Kael's eyes widened. "Stop!" But it was too late. Her hand touched his back, and her light exploded. Golden energy burst outward, flooding the room like a sunrise. The creature froze instantly. Its silver eyes flickered violently. Error, error, error. Luna's light wasn't attacking it. It was overwhelming it, purifying it. The darkness around his body began to crack, breaking apart like glass. It let out a distorted, broken sound, and then it disappeared. Gone. Erased completely. Silence fell over the room. Kael collapsed forward. Luna caught him before he hit the ground. His body felt cold, weak, fragile. She lowered him gently, her hands shaking. His eyes slowly lifted to meet hers. For the first time, they weren't empty. They were afraid. Not for himself. For her. "You shouldn't have done that," he whispered weakly. Tears filled her eyes. "I couldn't let it take you." The words hung in the air. Heavy, honest, dangerous. He stared at her, conflicted, broken, changed. "You don't understand," he said softly. "There will be more." Her grip tightened slightly. "I don't care." And for the first time in his existence, Kael felt something stronger than purpose, stronger than obedience, stronger than darkness itself. He felt the need to protect her, even if it meant his own destruction, far beyond their world. The ancient force watched in silence. It had seen everything. Its weapon had failed. Kael had chosen the light. And now, there was only one solution left. It would come itself. The sky began to die. Not slowly. Not naturally. It cracked. Dark fractures spread across the heavens like broken glass, swallowing the stars one by one. The moon flickered, its light fading as something far older pushed its way into their world. Luna stood frozen near the shattered window, her heart pounding as she stared upward. "What is happening?" she whispered. Kael already knew. His body had gone completely still beside her. "It's coming," he said quietly. And for the first time since she met him, his voice held fear. Not fear for himself, fear for her. The darkness above split open, and something stepped through. It didn't have a true form. It was too vast, too ancient, too powerful to exist as anything human. Its presence bent reality itself. Shadows stretched toward it like loyal servants bowing to their king. Its voice echoed everywhere at once. "Kael." He didn't respond. He couldn't look away. "You were created from my will," the ancient force said. Its voice wasn't angry. It was calm, cold, final. "You were perfection." Luna grabbed Kael's hand without thinking. His fingers tensed at her touch. But he didn't pull away. "You were never meant to feel," it continued. Its attention shifted to Luna. "And you?" The air around her grew heavy. "You are the error." Kael stepped in front of her instantly, protecting her, choosing her. Again, "You will not touch her," he said. The ancient force fell silent. And then it laughed, not with humor, with inevitability. "You believe you have a choice." Darkness exploded outward, slamming into Kael's body and throwing him across the room. He crashed into the wall, the impact cracking the stone behind him. "Kael!" Luna screamed. She ran to him, dropping to her knees beside him. His form flickered violently. He was losing stability, losing existence. The ancient force had absolute control over him. It had created him. It could unmake him. "Return to me," it commanded. Kael's body lifted into the air against his will. His limbs froze. His eyes widened in horror. He couldn't move. He couldn't resist. He was being erased. Luna grabbed his hand desperately. "No!" she cried. Golden light burst from her body again, brighter than ever before. Stronger, purer. It wrapped around Kael, holding him in place, protecting him. The ancient force reacted instantly. Impossible. Light and darkness collided violently, shaking the entire world. Kael felt it. Her warmth, her strength, her choice. She was protecting him, just like he had protected her. And in that moment, he understood. He understood what he had to do. He looked at her, really looked at her, memorizing her face, her eyes, her light. "Luna," he whispered. Tears streamed down her face. "Don't leave me," she begged. His hand gently touched her cheek. For the first time, he wasn't afraid of her light. He embraced it. "I was never meant to exist," he said softly. Her grip tightened. "No." "But you were." The ancient force's darkness began tearing him apart. He was running out of time. "There is only one way to stop it," he whispered. She shook her head violently. "No, we'll find another way." But he already knew the truth. He leaned forward, pressing his forehead gently against hers. "Thank you," he said, "for making me feel alive." Her light responded instantly, surrounding both of them, their energies mixed, golden and black, light and shadow, opposites, becoming one. The ancient force roared in fury. It tried to pull him back, to reclaim him, but it was too late. Kael made his choice. Instead of returning to his creator, he gave himself to her. His darkness didn't fight her light. It fused with it, strengthened it, empowered it. Luna gasped as power unlike anything she had ever felt surge through her body. Kael's form began to fade, breaking apart into black particles. "No!" she cried, grabbing him desperately. But she couldn't stop it. He smiled softly, at peace, free. His fingers slipped from hers. And then he was gone. The ancient force screamed in rage. Its control had been broken. Its weapon had chosen love. And that love had destroyed its power. Golden light exploded across the sky, erasing the darkness completely. The fractures in reality sealed. The stars returned. The night was whole again. Silence fell. Luna stood alone, her body glowing softly. But she wasn't the same. She could feel him. Not gone, not erased. Part of her. His darkness lived within her light. Balanced, complete. She touched her chest, tears falling silently. "You're still here," she whispered. A soft shadow moved beside her. Not a form, not a body. A presence, watching, protecting, loving. He had been created as darkness. But in the end, he became her light, and she became his forever.